I know he's an anime character, but Hyoga is kind of fine. Welcome back to Everything Anime Podcast. I'm your host Shinry, here at Everything Anime Podcast, talk about anime, manga, video games, TV shows, and whatever on the topic we're talking about. Today's video is on Dr. Stone, chapters 130 to 132, I believe. This is the Hyoga and Mozu fight, mostly, with other things sprinkled in. So, when we last left off, Hyoga and Himura, who I forgot about, the great thing about this arc is that we remembered going in that Himura and Hyoga were turned to stone, but once we got on the island, everybody on the ship was turned to stone, so we just... No, they weren't turned to stone. Hyoga and Himura were in prison. So we just assumed, they had got captured too. They were one of the destroyed pieces, and maybe Senku just didn't revive them yet, for whatever reason. But no, it was so great because whenever Senku backs into the corner and then he tosses it onto Hyoga's revival fluid, I had only remembered then that of course Hyoga would be here to save us if Tsukasa can't fight Moz and no one else in the Kingdom of Science can fight him. Of course. I wish I had realized that before. But we also learned something else. Ibara doesn't know how to revive people. He definitely, this is when I realized he's not the Y Man, he's not from modern times, because the fact that he don't know how to revive people, but he knows how to petrify people, was like a big telling thing. So he thinks it's by magic that Senku can revive people with, this magical fluid. He doesn't know what it is. He doesn't know where it comes from. He just thinks so Gen's whole thing that we're magicians, we're sorcerers, kind of rings true to him in a way. He's like, oh, maybe they do have magic. They're able to bring these people back somehow, some way. With this, Ibara flees, most likely thinking they were intend to revive the master somehow. He's like, the fact that they can bring people back that are petrified, he doesn't know, if the master is destroyed and has all that mold and moss and stuff, he can't be revived back. He just knows they have a way to bring people back. If they bring back the master, he will reveal everything about me, the truth, and then I'll lose all these people. They'll turn against me. So Ibara is fleeing to get back to meet Team Retrieval, Team Taiju, basically, to stop them from bringing the master back to release everybody. But before we even get to that, Hyoga immediately understands the situation. He's been brought back, and he's looking up, he's sizing up Mozu, and he's like, yeah, I see why you guys brought me back. Yeah, y'all are in danger, and y'all can't take this guy on. I can tell by, I can tell that he's strong. And Mozu can also see the strength in Hyoga. One swing of Hyoga's spear, they mutually can tell, okay, these guys are strong, these guys are powerful. Mozu is my match. Hyoga is my match. These guys are, rivals in a sense. They can sense each other's power levels. Now, Senku, so... who is it? I think it's Hyoga. Hyoga gives Senku the option. He's like, I can team up with you and take over the Kingdom of Science, or I can team up with Moz and kill you all. Thus, I said the Joker card. You're putting your trust in Hyoga, the guy that killed his, I can't say best friend, but killed his partner, Tsukasa, then threatened to cut your fingers off and just be cut your toes off and be like, oh, I can just use your brain. As long as your brain's intact and you can talk, you can tell me how to make the miracle fluid. Nitrogen acid to revive who I want to in this new perfect world. So, yeah, I was obviously, this being a manga / anime / being Dr. Stone, we know that Hyoga is not going to kill them, but it's still, it's one of those situations where you don't know where this is going to go. So, that was pretty cool. While we deal with that threat, Team Retrieval has a problem with Ibara coming in for the assault. So, this is where we have two things going on. They are about to run into Ibara, who's coming to stop them from bringing the master, and then we got Moz on the ship threatening to kill us. We got Hyoga being like, Senku, I can save your life, but you're gonna let me be the kingdom. You're gonna let me lead the Kingdom of Science, or I can just team up with Moz and we can kill everybody on the ship. It don't matter to me. It's your choice. And so, back at the battle, with desperate thinking, Gen tells Nikki to confess her love to Hyoga, basically saying he wants to convince Hyoga that Nikki's in love with him, so he'll protect all of them. But First of all, Homura is the one in love with Hyoga, so just say Homura's in danger. Like, he'll kill Homura, but I mean, if he turns up with Maz, he would just tell Maz, like, "Hey, back out, that's my girl." But like, yeah, that's just funny. He's like, "Nikki, quick!" And I was like, first of all, you're telling this in front of Hyoga, anyways. Like, you're not saying this in secret. He's standing right there. But I love that Nikki's like, "What the fuck?" And equally and hilariously, the only reason why she refuses to is because she wants to find a man that she's supposed to be in love with, and she don't want to fake her love. She's like, whoever I tell that I'm in love with them, I want it to be the honest truth. I want to fall in love with the right person. And for some reason, I'm going to be Magma. Again, I don't know if Dr. Stone has shipping. I think if there was shipping, it'd be Kurom and Ruri, Senku and Kohaku, Taiju and Yuzu, obviously, Magma and Nikki. And that's all I know so far. Maybe the reporter and Ryusei. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if Dr. Stone does shipping. I don't really care for shipping in anime or manga or any of my shows, but I just thought it was funny. Hyoga goes back and forth in his mind about who to side with. He first thinks of Senku's Kingdom of Science, and he knows if he teams up with Mozu, they will all die. So Hyoga's on the fence himself. He's like, I could be in control of this Kingdom of Science, and they would all listen to me because I'm the strongest one. The Tsukasa's basically dead. Or I could just team up with Moz, kill everybody, and we just rule over this new world as me and Tsukasa were originally going to do in the first place. Because you have to remember, his goals originally lined up with Tsukasa. This is what he originally wanted, allowing only the strong to live and culling the weak and the helpless. So he asked Mozu, what do you think of that idea? He's like, do you agree with me? Do you think, like, we should get rid of the weak, keep only the strong, and, elderly, I think the young ones are okay, but, like, elderly and anybody that's not strong, that won't survive in a survival of the fittest in this kind of new world, in this, what would be the word? Who could survive in this? I know the law. It'll come to me later. Whatever it was. That law that basically is like, survival of the fittest, basically. And he's like, Maz, what do you think about that? And I couldn't get a read on Maz. He can't get a read on Maz. But he can also gauge Hyoga's strength. He knows that he's strong, so he just agrees with him. He's like, sure. After all, that's how we live. That's how they live on Treasure Island anyway. Sort of like, Maz is like, I'm already the strongest and reviving. Oh no, here's where they were different. So Maz is like, I just want to revive pretty people, handsome people, beautiful women, and he's like, as long as that's how we live here. We revive who we want to. As long as I get all the pretty women, that's all that matters to me. But that's when Ryusei counters that all women have something to offer and all of them are beautiful. And Maz glances over at Nikki, who seems to fancy him. I thought that was kind of funny. So maybe Nikki's actual ship will be Maz whenever if he turns to the Kingdom of Science. Well, I thought it was kind of funny. But yeah, Ryusei loves all women. He said that from the moment he stepped out of being unpetrified. He said that to Kohaku. He said that Kohaku was beautiful, which she is. After seeing her in a dress for the first time, she is very beautiful. But yeah, he's like, Maz is like, no, Ryusei's countering him too. Ryusei's like, all women are beautiful, where Maz is like, I only want pretty girls. Because remember, he only wanted to save Kohaku because she was like decent in the face and strong fighter. So he's like, you can put up a fight against me, we can spar, and you can be my woman. But what seems to make Hyoga finally decide is that Maz only will survive the best looking women and men. And I'm not sure if that has anything to do with the strong mentality that Hyoga has going for him, but he announces that he made his decision. And I knew the moment Hyoga said he made his decision, he was going to team up with the Kingdom of Science. Because, Hyoga don't care if the women are beautiful, if the men are handsome. He's like, I only care about reviving the strong. So if you're just worried about bringing back these handsome and beautiful people, that's not the kind of world I'm trying to live in. That's not the kind of world I'm trying to cultivate. So like, fuck it, I'll team up with the Kingdom of Science because me and you ain't gonna get along. But before we get there, outside of the ship, Ibara makes it to the surface to see Kurosame approaching by boat. Forgive me for forgetting that she and Maz were way back. I mean, Maz and Kurosame were way back on the island. I think I corrected that in my last video talking about how the reason why they weren't on the ship originally, whenever they shot the fireworks in the air and all the people left, and I said there was only Ibara standing, and I think I had said Maz and Kurosame, but then we just saw Maz coming by ship because he was the one chasing after the mobile lab, and then Kurosame was still back on the battlefield. So yeah, that's why Kurosame is showing up last. Kurosame shouts to the petrification weapon now while Kurosame, he shouts to her to use the petrification weapon while they're all split up. This is, of course, to prevent them from restoring the master statue with the revival team. So he's like, hey, use the Medusa weapon now. Petrify the whole island. I don't care if these guys are on the ship. Forget it. Just petrify the island. Because it's like, if she finds out that the master's is... Because remember, Kurosame threw the weapon away from the master's hideout whenever we first got a look at the Medusa weapon, and she petrified Kohaku and Genro. She made sure to avoid the master's hideout. So Kurosame doesn't know that the master is dead. Ibara doesn't want her to know that. So he's like, just fuck it, petrify the whole island now. Because he doesn't want her to know that the master is like petrified. And maybe he'll convince her that the master's on the ship already. But then we go back once again to Hyoga and Maz fighting, and we learned that Hyoga decided to team up with Senku. And I love how he makes it look like he's going for Senku, but Senku already knew what Hyoga had decided, because I think Hyoga said something about like to your left, Senku to your left, and then Senku's like, yeah, and he just dodges back like this casual face as he like attacks Maz with his spear. It is such a cool panel. I'm gonna make sure I
on your left. On your left.
On my left. Got it. Don't say it. Don't you say
On
it.
your left.
Come on!
showed off. I cannot wait to see that in the anime. It gave me like Matrix vibes, the way Senku's just like, yeah, because Senku already knew. He can already tell that Hyoga was on their side, and I just love that, because at first, again, you're thinking he's a Joker card. He could stab Senku right now. He could go to kill Senku right now, and Maz would help him kill everybody. But I love that. That's a great panel. Again, the speed lines on these fights are incredible. Already, Maz can tell that Hyoga's on another level, possibly even stronger than he is. That's what he says at first, although we learn something later. But, well, we'll talk about it as the fight goes on. Meanwhile, the retrieval team has restored the master statue, but I fear it's too late, because Kurosame, before the end of the chapter, seems to have activated the weapon. Also, when the chapter ends, we get a new look at Hyoga's fully revived face, and this is without the scars, and we can see that he's handsome as fuck. Because you gotta remember, like, if you've been revived a second time after getting out from the first, like, once you're petrified by the Medusa weapon, and you come out of it with nitrous acid, you still have cracks and marks and scars and like rocks on your body, because it's like the first petrification or the first awakening. But then they call it a second awakening when you're repetrified and then unpetrified with nitrous acid. All of those wounds and scars are gone. So this is the first time we get to see Hyoga like without the scars on his face. He pulls down his mask, kind of like a Kakashi reveal if Kakashi ever took down his mask. It gave me that vibes. I was like, damn, he kind of fine for a manga character. Like, I ain't gonna lie. But I can see why Hamura was down for him. Like, I can see why. But not only that, he takes down Mozu in the final panel. Like, I mean, the fight still goes on, but the way it looks, like, he takes down Maz. Now, once again, in the opening chapter, it's a race against time. Team Distraction is racing to the surface to catch up with the Master Statue and Ibara, and hopefully reveal to the whole island, like, you know, the Master is, like, you know, he's petrified. And Ibara is like, Kurosame, use the weapon now. Like, that's what he told her last time. So basically we have three storylines to follow. Team Senku, which is the distraction team, needs to get back to the island for something Senku says will help them win. Then we have Team Retrieval trying to bring the Master Statue to the island, to the beach, to reveal, like, you know, that, hey, the Master is dead. He doesn't exist anymore. While Kurosame and Ibara are trying to petrify the whole island before that happens. And lastly, we got Maz fighting Hyoga in the prison room, and they're showing out their true power against each other. So, oh yeah, and the Maz says something about, like, it's time for me to stop holding back and show you my real power. So those are the three storylines we're currently following at this point. And man, was he not bluffing, because even for the first time since Tsukasa's fight, Hyoga shows genuine fear. Like, he's like, okay, Maz is pretty strong. He's pretty terrifying. He really is. He might actually be stronger than me. I might lose this fight. Back with Ibara, he tells Kurosame, he tells not Kirasame, but Arashi to go to the center of the island with the weapon and throw it into the air. He's like, you know what, Kirasame, you stay here. Or I'm going to sacrifice my pawn. Or Arashi, you're a great big dumbass. Take this weapon and go to the center of the island and throw it into the air. Now, Kirasame, again, knowing that the master is alive, she's like, but the center of the island, how will everybody escape? How will the master escape? Ibara doesn't answer her, and immediately she understands. Like, she knows, like, oh my God. She realizes in this moment the fact that he's going to petrify the whole island, either the master's already dead or the master is petrified. But I think she realized the master was dead. We also learned that through Kirasame that the master did know about the weapon. He knew about the Medusa. So again, like, I do think Sozio's dad was a good guy. But one thing he had warned them about with the Medusa weapon is he told them its power should never be abused or unleashed over a wide area. It was forbidden. So that's interesting because we know somebody petrified all of humanity, all of Earth, and obviously that was a wide man, but I guess that was his just rule. He was like, whatever we do, we're never going to petrify a large area, like something like an island, something like a planet. So Sozio is the good man Sozio's father is the good man that I suspected him to be, because I was like, whoever casts the light over the entire world, obviously the wide man, you know, is still out there. And, you know, again, that's why I started questions. I was like, okay, the white man's not on this island. It's not Ibara, because, again, I know I have already said this a bunch of times that the white man's not on this island, but I'm just trying to tell you how I went through my notes and realize this. I was like, Ibara's not from the present time, modern time. He doesn't even know what a car is. He doesn't know what a lab is. He doesn't know what half the shit we're doing is, or drone. And then you got the master, who was like, never uses over a large area or anything like that. Plus, he was killed by Ibara. Kirasame's got questions too. She knows that Minister Ibara can't beat her in a fight, and she doesn't want to serve him. She serves the master, so she demands answers. She was like, all right, you're going to tell me what's going on. I'm not letting this Medusa weapon out of my sight. Like, the master's on the island somewhere, and you want me to petrify the whole island? You're not giving our people a chance to escape? Like, what's going on here? You're going to tell me, I don't serve you, I serve the master. Well, Ibara is about to show some mutiny right here. And just right in time too, or it's about to be mutiny, because it's just at the right time that Taiju, with his loud mouth, because we love Taiju, arrives to the stone. The master space made a stone and shows everybody to unveil the truth. He's like, hey, everyone, look over here. Your master's been turned to stone. Ibara lied to you. And I fucking knew what was going to happen. I was so sad and so angry about it, but I knew it was going to happen. Kirasame turns to face Ibara and demand answers, and that's when we learn that he can also control the weapon. We even see how it works. As Kirasame goes to try and stop him, he tosses the weapon slightly forward and activates it. I think he says like 1 meter, 1 second or something like that. And she turns to stone after realizing that he is the true villain. Now, it's not revealed that this is how the weapon works just yet, but yes, that's how the weapon works. You give it a time, and you give it a distance, and the weapon activates. It'll petrify whatever is in that radius, and whatever is within that few seconds. If something's still within that radius, it's going to activate. His true evil ass tosses her into the water after she's turned to stone before everybody's eyes. The truth is out now. Everybody in the island, including his like minions, they all know that Ibara is evil and that the master is dead. Like, he just killed the left hand of the master, or right? Yeah, she'd be the left hand because the right hand is one that would definitely be Moz. He killed her in front of everybody. So they all know, like, oh yeah, this guy. Well, I think, except for Arashi, because Arashi I think ran off, or he didn't run off yet. There's more to it. I'm getting ahead of myself. But never fear, Yo is here to save the day. He shoots his last bullet through the old man's hand while telling him his Miranda rights, which is hilarious because he was a corrupt cop. I love the I think he forgot his Miranda. He tried to Mirandize him, but he forgot like half the words, and I think that's because he's a corrupt cop. But I still love it. I was like, okay, Yo, you won my side. You are now officially a part of the Kingdom of Science. I fully believe it now. And what makes the chapter even greater is the weapon begins to fall into the sea, and I was like, what a ending chapter. The Medusa weapon is out of Ibara's hands. All of the Petrification Kingdom knows that Ibara is a traitor. They know that the master has been turned to stone. Kirasame has been turned to stone. We got Hyoga fighting Moz somewhere on the prison ship. Like, I was like, the stakes, bitch, they gone. Not gone. They're like phenomenally high. Like, what could happen now? anybody could turn at this point. And again, that would have been a great place to stop, but I feel like that where I actually end is even better. So we're gonna keep going. So that was an incredible cliffhanger. Yo finally, like I said, became fully part of the Kingdom of Science, and he got the Medusa weapon out of Ibara's hands, like that old evil fuck's hands. He got it out of it. And not only that, Yo's got his hands on the Medusa weapons. Like, oh yeah, Yo jumped into the water after the Medusa weapon, and he got his hands on the Medusa weapon. So I thought we won. We did it. Like, we didn't need the drone. We got the Medusa weapon. Ibara has been exposed. Hyoga is going to take down Moz, or, we'll team up on Moz somehow. We'll get everybody to team up against him. We won. That's all I was thinking. Well, we would win if we knew exactly how the weapon works, which we don't. Now, again, I've already spoiled how it works. You have to give it a command of a distance and a timer. But, again, our characters at this point didn't know that. Back at the battle with Moz and Hyoga, Hyoga is really struggling against Moz, and I'm for sure now that Kohaku never would have stood a chance against him. If Kohaku was his final opponent, I was like, yeah, Kohaku would have lost for sure. Kohaku is not way stronger than Hyoga. She struggled against Hyoga and Tsukasa in the battles before. Hyoga, however, is betting on that Senku went to retrieve some kind of weapon on the island that could help them win. And I was curious what this would be. I was like, what could Senku use that could help Hyoga and the others win this fight? And what kind of weapon would that be? Well, it's Hyoga's traditional spear, the one that Gen ruined back in the Stone Wars. Remember whenever Gen had cut his spear back in the forest, because that's when he was going to cut again, you have to know the anime or know what I'm talking about to understand this, but he was cutting in a circle, and we saw his spear break, and that's because Gen destroyed it. So I love this reveal that the piece, it was just a small piece he needed for his spear, but it makes his weapon extremely more powerful. So with the power of teamwork and Senku teaching us how to create dry lubricant, we managed to give Hyoga the edge he needs over Moz. Whatever Senku supplied him with, it allowed his spear, like I said, once again, to twirl as fast, like a fast pace, like he once did against Kohaku. And with the golden light from the golden spear, Senku added a golden spear tip to his spear, so he has a same kind of weapon like Kenro. Or I think Kenro gave him his spear to fight with. I think I left that out. But yeah, Kenro gave him his weapon. He has a golden spear, so he's spinning it really fast, and it added to something about Kenro's weapon. So he used Kenro's weapon, and it shatters Maz's defenses with ease, and it's an incredible shot. I'll make sure I show that off as well. But when Maz defeated and Hyoga stands triumphant over him, proving once more what Naruto said to Neji, that hard work and training can surpass natural genius.
Sorry, but this is reality. You're a failure. This match is over. I can't move. I should have guessed you'd use that shadow clone jutsu. It's your specialty after all. I was careless.
For the record, I failed the graduation exam 3 times. 'Cause there was this one jutsu that was always on the exam, and it tripped me up every time. It was the one jutsu that I just couldn't master. My clones were pathetic. That's right, I flunked the shadow clone jutsu every time. So don't come whining to me with this destiny stuff. And stop trying to tell me you can't change what you are. You can do it too, because after all, unlike me, you're not a failure.
So one other argument, again, this is why I need my notes, because I read this over a week ago. I'm going to try to keep them up next time so I don't have to stare so much at my notes. But Hyoga was saying, Maz was saying to Hyoga, I have natural talent. I'm naturally strong. I didn't have to work hard for anything. My strength just came this way. Where Hyoga is the embodiment of hard work and training. So he's like, no, this is the result of working your ass off the rest of your life. But that's not how the chapter ends, although that would have been great. Minister Ibara leaps off the ship down at Yo, still in the water, holding the Medusa weapon in front of him, and commands something that seems to activate the weapon. And all I could think in that moment was, oh shit. So that's actually the end of my notes. So I actually do know what happens again. And I found out I'm actually on chapter 143. So yeah, still like 11 chapters ahead of you guys. But we are very close where I can start, speculating again and catch up my videos and have to rely on my notes less. But oh my god, that was so fucking cool. Like how Ibara is just falling and he commands the weapon in front of Yo, and I was like, oh, Yo's about to be petrified. He's about to lose a Medusa weapon. Stakes just keep fucking getting higher. But again, because I know too much, I'm not going to spoil it. If you are caught up in Dr. Stone or just following along my video, tell me what you thought about this chapter. Again, I'm trying not to be so note heavy. I do make my notes on the side, but I try to use them from memory as well. Or if you finished the anime of Dr. Stone New World, are you liking the New World anime better than the manga? Or is the manga, is it better? I think the manga's better so far. Because like I said, I'm caught up in Star Wars. I'm not really liking it as much, the anime-wise, but it's still pretty good. Anyways, that's all for this video. Talk to you guys in the next one. Bye for now. Hey guys, this video was sponsored by me, the author of the Shinry series, the Chronicles of Wayne, and Monsterverse. So I figured I'd do this outro a little bit different by showing you guys what you guys will be checking out. So, the Shinry series starts with Book 1, Shobu Samurai Project Aryoku. 10 years after the death of his parents, Shobu Samurai returns home seeking vengeance, but instead faces a choice to save his home from shadow creatures, blood beasts, and an organization once thought dead. Shinry's Shobu Samurai starts at $9.99. And if you love anime, manga, Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, Yu Yu Hakusho, Fairy Tail, Shaman King, Rave Master, Zatch Bell, anything like that, the Shinry series is definitely the series for you. You'll definitely want to check it out. The Sword of Light is probably the thickest one so far. And then these books are 2. This is Enter the Dread Zone Tournament. And the series original ending, Arado, the Legendary Konjuis Master. So, and I'll just show you guys some of the covers. Really proud of all of these. But I hope you guys check it out. If you don't like that, I also have the current published books for the Chronicles of Wayne, Love Be Damned, Cotton Candy, Full Moons, Fabled Lovers, A Cursed Virgin's Bite. If You Go Where Monsters Dance, Red will Reign Over Your House. Love Be Damned. Now, the Chronicles of Wayne is about a geeky guy, or a nerdy guy in high school. His senior year, he has a crush on the hottest guy in school, because of course he does. He's only got one best friend, and her name is Barb. Well, the hottest guy in school turns out to be a werewolf. And to make the story more interesting, he bites Wayne and turns Wayne into the first ever wolfman in the last 10 years. And because of that, it was also a sacred law that wolfmen should never be created. I don't want to get into too much of the Chronicles of Wayne without spoiling it, but I can tell you it's very short. This one sells for $6.99, and Love Be Caged right after it. The ending of this trilogy, Love Be Liberated, comes out in October. So I'm going to definitely do a more full in-depth review of this one. But yeah, it's an LGBT fantasy fiction story about werewolves, vampires, white witches, a dark warlock, and, well, many, many more surprises to come. So if you guys like to read, I definitely recommend. These are all the books so far in the Shinry series, except for Shinry's Beginning. I do have that one, but it's just not here with me. But yeah, I appreciate a like, support, or just a review on Amazon. Either way, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a great day.